Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. Hope everybody's day goes well. Today is going to be the morning yap back on track, but hope you guys like these videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyways, today what I want to talk about is understanding that not everything is going to work for you the way it works for others, right? So, for example, what I mean by that is not that it's not gonna work for you. Like, let's say you are looking at somebody that's in the position that you want to be, right? And they took a path that you want to try and take, and you try, and for some reason that path, doing what they do, mimicking what they do, doesn't work, right? It doesn't mean you're not gonna get there, just like them. It means that certain path, the certain actions they've done, certain routine, whatever you want to call it, that they had to get there just doesn't work for you, right? Because everybody's unique. Everybody has their own different struggles, their own different path, their own different starting point. So it doesn't mean it's going to work for you the way it works for them, because that worked for them, not for you, right? So, and that being said, it's like, just because it worked for them, right? It's not gonna work for you. It doesn't mean you're not gonna get there, right? You might just need to take a different approach, look at it from a different angle, or realize that you are not in the same starting point they were, right? Okay, so for example, for me, I own a business with my dad, right? So I want to make it successful. I started by mimicking the actions and process and trying to build the team the same way that somebody that I knew was already successful in that. And the thing is that I had to realize that we were at a completely different starting point. The starting point that I was at is, we are barely starting to build this business, right? My dad treated this business like he was a contractor. He treated himself like a worker instead of as the actual business owner. And so we were a lot more behind than where this certain person started, right? So I had to come and realize that, okay, I am at a different starting point. I am way further behind than where this person told me they started from. So I need to understand that also the people that I have, the team that I have, myself included, are completely different to that team that he had to do what he did to make his business successful and stable and create stability, right? So I had to, even though I tried for a couple of months doing the same thing they did, it just didn't work for me. It just didn't. It didn't work for my business. It didn't work for me. So I had to come and realize that, okay, then I just need to take a different approach, look at it from a different angle, see what works for me from their plan, and only integrate the parts that do work for me, right? So I ended up doing that, and it's been working. So that being said, doesn't mean you're not going to get there. It just means that you got to take a different approach, because everybody's different. But it just depends. Also, you have to realize that so there's a lot of shit that is out there right now where there's motivational shit and get up early and do this. I get up early because that's just how my schedule's built, right? I wake up early regardless, because I've been waking up early since I was young, and it's just built in me. Even if I don't put an alarm, the latest I will wake up is 7:38, right? Sometimes not even that. So I just naturally wake up like around 5:30. So that's why I'm out here early. That's why I do this early. But that doesn't mean you have to, right? Because you might need more sleep than I do to function. You might need, you might had a long day the day before and slept really late, and you're trying to do the same thing again, and now your recovery is all out of whack, and you go into the gym or come out here and you just don't perform, and you're sleepy throughout the whole fucking day, and you're not performing to your max, right? So everybody's different. It doesn't mean you're not gonna get there. It doesn't mean you're not built for it. It just means that you might need to take a different approach. You might need to understand that, hey, what worked for them isn't gonna work for me. Let me see what's actually working from their plan, integrate it to my plan, and find what other stuff can work for me, right? That's the thing about, I guess, it's more of discernment, I guess, to see what exactly you can pinpoint from someone's plan that, okay, I think I could integrate it to my plan, and then that'll work for me the same way it worked for them, or even better. So basically, grabbing stuff that works for you and adding it to your plan and seeing if it works. Because at the end of the day, it's not some cut and dry as to, okay, if I copy them, I'm gonna be fine, right? Because they're fine, they're successful. No, that doesn't work like that. You might have different struggles. You might have physical struggles. You might have mental struggles, emotional struggles. Who knows, right? You might be going through some shit that they've never gone through. So understand that. Understand that just because you're not there yet and their plan isn't working for you, it doesn't mean you're not gonna get there. You're gonna get there. You just gotta understand. If your goal is so clear to you and you know that's what you want, you're already halfway fucking there. Matter of fact, you might be already 80% there, because now you just gotta execute. And you gotta use that rest of the 20% to have the ambition, have the dedication, consistency, and just practice, right? Like seeing what works, what doesn't. Something might not work. Fuck it. It didn't work. That didn't work. Let's try something else. But I'm gonna get there, right? Don't get discouraged. Just try different things, and you'll eventually get there. But anyways, I'll walk the rest of these miles, and I'll see you guys at the truck. All right. Now that that's out the way, I am fucking cooked. I ended up running the last 2 miles. Well, 1.5 of the mile of the last 2 miles. So I walked the last half. Whew, but damn, it's fucking humid outside. That's Houston though. And it's kind of dark, but should be no raining today. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, just because look, I've had people hit me up and say, "Hey, what you're saying is true, but it didn't work for me." By any means, this is not a freaking, what I talk about is my opinion. It is not the key to life or the key to success or anything like that, because I myself still lack a lot of stuff for myself to for me to call myself successful, right? I still want a lot more things that I consider success. But understand that this is not a sermon, I guess you could say. This is more of my life experience, my opinion, and I only talk about what's worked for me, because I can't talk about a different point of view, obviously, right? I'm not experiencing that point of view. But what I can say is that I learned about this a long time ago, that not everything somebody does that's already where I want to be is going to work for me, right? Everybody preaches, oh, get up early in the morning, ice plunge, all that stuff, right? The only reason I get up early is because this is the time of the day where I want to fit in my cardio. That way, whenever I'm done with my workout, I am done. I go home, shower, eat, I'm done for the day, right? If I have work, I just sit at the office. It's not too stressful. Just type away, send emails, stuff like that. But that's why I fit it up in the morning. Maybe for you, it's not gonna work because you have shit to do in the morning. You might need more sleep, so you can't. So understand that just because you're not doing the same thing somebody says that they did to become successful, it doesn't mean you're not going to get there, right? Everybody's different, everybody's unique, everybody has their own struggles, everybody has their own successes. So, successes? Is that a word? Oh no. I need some caffeine in my system, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, so again, not everything is going to work the way you want it to work all the time, right? even when you Even when you're doing something that you know works for you, right? And there's some shit that happens that throws you off the fucking it throws you for a loop, right? It just fucking life's crazy. You never know what the fuck is gonna happen. That's why I always say you gotta be a little bit crazier to fucking fight back. You don't know what's gonna happen from here on to shit. From here in 5 minutes, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? So it's unpredictable, but understand that just because you fell off one time or one time it didn't work for you doesn't mean it's not going to work. Learn to understand that if it didn't work countless times, maybe it's time to change your approach. Yes, I know that people say, "Oh, but if you keep trying, it's going to hit. It's going to work one of those times, right?" Yeah, but at that point, you're gambling with your own life. So might as well try something different and gamble something else. You're already gambling and trying that same thing. You're not losing anything because you already haven't gotten to where you want to be, right? So might as well try something different. Fuck. I hate when the camera moves. There we go. But yeah, try something different. Understand that understand that life is different for everybody, bro. Like it's just crazy. And it took me a while to understand it after high school. They didn't take me a while after high school. I learned it right after high school. But it's just everybody's different. Not everybody's gonna do is gonna take the same path to get to where they want to be, right? So understand that. Learn to discern what works for you, what doesn't. Learn from what doesn't work as well. Don't just toss it aside. Learn, understand why it didn't work, and maybe that same thing's gonna work, but in a different way, right? Like it's just people say, "Oh, cold plunge in the morning." I've seen people that say it works for them after their workout. Who knows, right? Everybody's different. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I am gonna do upper today, but I think I'm gonna start with shoulders. So we'll see how today's workouts go. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.